first flat, that's with strangers that you pay rent with, right? Okay. It would have been the Bale Hostel.
First flat, oh, so embarrassing. I moved around my friends. It was like one of their mums had bought this property around the corner from Canterbury Uni, and I moved in, and it was literally 10 minutes walk from my mum's place. And eventually I just ended up spending all my time at my mum's place, and then I was like, you know what? I shouldn't be paying rent because I could just live at my mum's place. So I moved back with my mum.
It was this weird house in Waterview. And it was like a range of, like, I was the youngest, I was like 20, and it was like a couple of 50-year-olds living there. It was strange. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
I was in my car for about, probably 2 months. Had the back seat all spread out, like had all my clothes on, you know, one side. Like I may sell that car as a one-bedroom apartment. One-bedroom apartment at Herne Bay.
I went to a university-owned kind of flat situation where they chuck you in with strangers. And so one of the people was my best friend, but the other three, I want to say, were absolute nightmares. Just stuff like leaving a cooked chicken out on the bench and then after a week putting in the group chat, hey, anyone feel free to help yourself to chicken.
Yeah, I was living in a Bale hostel with like 22 or 23 other women. We were all just at different stages of the criminal justice system, and I lived there for 3 years.
I had a flat in town. It was classic sort of Christchurch, very old, 2-storey. But I do remember that I ended up going a little bit downhill and living with a junkie who stole everything out of my flat. It was a low point.
I set up a massage studio in my flat, and I was living with Chris Parker and Brinley, and I would set up my massage studio in the lounge, which was, now that I think about it, crazy that they let me do that for like an entire year. I'd be like, I'm doing massages today, you can't be in the house. And so they would leave, and I feel really bad about that, but it's all fine now.
I had a notorious first flat, 68 Abel Smith Street, opposite Real Groovy in Wellington, right behind Fidel's Cafe. Parties there all the time. It used to be a brothel, had like 8 bedrooms, had no carpet, had that thin felt on the floor, had no heating. That's where I saw maggots for the first time in my life. And I called my mum and I was like, Mum, what are these little white things that are like squirming around in my rubbish bin? She was like, oh my God, like some maggots.
In my second year at Otago, I flatted with a girl who was upset that I was baking bread because that was using the oven, which was driving up our electricity bill. So she asked if I would pay like $2.50 each time I baked bread or something. And I think I was like, no.